there was a clip that was released by ABC, and this particular story is going along on the propaganda that's out here. Now, the propaganda is saying black people just run around all over the country just attacking Asian people. First and foremost, most black folks don't even see Asian people like that. Asian people live in their own communities. I know this. Most of us know this. They live in their own communities. And if you do see Asian people, it's because they are in our neighborhoods, not their own, and they are businesses, whatever that may be. That's really the most interaction that black folks have with Asian people on a good day. We don't see them. We don't live around them for the most part. We really don't. But yet they have started this propaganda based off of isolated incident that happened or incidents from mentally ill people. One thing that we should get very upset about is any person saying that we are responsible for any other random black person that could be committing some sort of crime. Why are we responsible for that? Why all black people need to discuss this? For what? All black people have nothing to do with it. But this propaganda has been ratcheting it up. And just like I said in a previous video, last time Obama was in office, all of a sudden all these black people run around just doing a quote unquote knockout game. Like, what is a knockout game? That was a media propaganda trying to once again criminalize and try to get laws put against black people. You remember that? That was during Obama. Now, during the time of Trump, Trump every day, he's so horrible. This Trump. Oh, yeah, black people, look what happens to black people. That old Trump. And now the moment Trump gets out and Jim Crow Joe gets in, they go right back to attacking black people. Now they're using isolated incidents that has happened. None of them have actually been proven to be hate crimes, but the media is lying and saying this is hate crimes, this is targeting, this is this and that and the third. Now, prior to the ratcheting up of that, Jim Crow Joe signed a executive order talking about Asians and hate crimes against Asians. Now, I remember in Oregon, and I covered this story on our African Diaspora News Insider channel, that they had gave set-asides to black people and black businesses so to help them during the time of COVID. What ended up happening? People started to sue the Oregon state government because they said it's wrong for only black people to have a certain amount of money, right? So I really believe that what black people need to do, and those of you black people who are in those areas, Washington, D.C., some of you who's right there, you need to file a lawsuit. You need to file a lawsuit against the Biden administration for discrimination. Because if he can't put out an executive order to protect black people from hate crimes, in which statistically we suffer more hate crimes than any other group, and that is proven by all of the statistics that's out from the FBI to any kind of other law enforcement, you can't put one out for black people, but you're gonna put one out for this group. And then why is it that you're weaponizing this group? Why? But I want to show you what ABC has put out. We caught this clip, and I want you to watch it, and I want you to tell me what you really think when you see what they put together. Let's go ahead and roll a clip.
In what ways have blacks been pitted against Asians?
We need the black community to realize that that black people are hurting Asians, and they need to speak out in their own community.
Our communities are not reporting these incidences. We don't want to cause more trouble, more attention to our community.
It strikes me that this is the Asian equivalent of the talk that African-American parents often have to have with their children.
Now, the first issue that I have with this, the first part of that clip comes from 1992. We're showing the Korean man shooting 1992, not 2021, okay? He wasn't even shooting at black people. Do you know that? He wasn't shooting at black people in that clip. Not at all. He was shooting at looters, and the looters at the time was not even black that he was shooting at. But yet they put this in this clip. You have this other Asian woman with her zaddy sitting there talking about, oh, black people just attacking Asians. And, oh, black people need to talk about this in their communities. Talk about what? It's not happening. I know black people in many black communities. They don't even interact and see Asian people like that. So what the hell are you talking about? Then a lady from ABC News, Juju Chang, she got her a zaddy too. We had posted that on Twitter. So I said, oh, makes sense. Because now let me tell you something. A lot of times people are real hard on sisters that got zaddies and everything. But, people like Miss Chang here, they got more zaddies than black women could ever have. Matter of fact, they marry outside of their race more than any other group. They do that. Asian women, they marry outside their race more than any other group. I mean, black women don't have zaddies like they do. But we all know there is an anti-black sentiment in their communities. We know this is black people. We get it. Now, is all of them that way? I've never said that. I never will indict all of them. But unfortunately, in this piece, it leads the listener to believe, oh my God, all these black people attacking Asian people? Oh man, they targeting them. And we sit up there like, what? I mean, it's so vague. It's not specific at all. And then they put this together, and then you talking about a talk. What talk are you talking about? So those of you who maybe not know fully what they're talking about, black people have to talk to their children about the race soldiers trying to survive an encounter with a race soldier so they don't kill your child. So your child don't become the next George Floyd, or your child don't become the next Breonna Taylor, or your child don't become the next Sandra Bland or Corinne Gaines or, Sam DuBose. I can just keep naming people. We have to have that kind of talk because our children in this country are under threat. Now, you mean to tell me you're saying ABC News that Asian people have to have a talk with their children because random black people is putting their knee on Asian people's necks? Is that happening? Or random black people just going out there shooting an Asian person 17 times in the back? That's the kind of talk. And you say, oh, well, we don't talk about these incidents because they're not happening. That's why you're not talking about them, because good and well if they were happening, you would be talking about it. But what they're doing is, this is what they're doing. They're weaponizing this in the media, because we just saw that California and New York is coming up with, some legislation talking about to protect Asian people. Now, all the hate crimes that's been happening to black people all during, all these years, these so-called Democrat states, and notice that's the ones that are leading it right now, California and New York, supposedly Democrat, supposedly, they black people's friends. They're not racist like the Trump and them people are, and yet they're doing things more sinister. Because I'm sorry, during Trump, we didn't see this. We didn't see it. Now you're dealing with that other side of white supremacy. That one, I told you, that other side is more sinister. I'd rather deal with the MAGA racism. Give me that all day long, because I see how that coming directly at me. That's old school white supremacy. I'm good with that. But that old sinister white supremacy on that other side, that's the one. Think about it. Who one came up with the 3 strike laws? It was that Democrat side. Who led and crafted the 94 crime bill? Jim Crow Joe. Think about that. Who started all the knockout game propaganda? It was them under Obama. Pay attention to that. Pay attention. Now, a lot of black people is already upset with Jim Crow Joe and his moves right now. And he's been having an attitude like, F y'all, care about y'all. That's his attitude he's been having. And I will say this, make sure when it's time to vote, and those of you who are going to do that, of course, make sure that you let him know that. They need to, like I said, if they're not going to treat black folks right, And what they never, well, let me not say if, they have never treated us right. They have been practicing a ideology called benign and neglect that came out in the 70s, right after the civil rights movement by Patrick Moynihan. Do you remember those cables that came from WikiLeaks that gave the instructions that said, when you approached by Black Lives Matter, say you listen to them, you empathize with them, that you see what you can do, but do not promise them any specific legislation or promise them anything. That is the benign and neglect that came out in the Moynihan report back into the 1970s. And we have covered that here on this channel. Black folks, you're going to have to realize you have nobody but yourselves. White supremacy left and white supremacy right is not going to help you. I don't know why you're thinking that they're going to help you. Listen, the white supremacy on the right or the left is not committed to ending white supremacy. Actually, the ones on the left is all about trying to be sinister, to weaponize other groups. They incentivize other groups to join in and help their fleeting numbers. You understand what they're trying to do? Think about what they're trying to do. They're going to be the minority. So they're saying, listen, we are worried that when we become the minority, black folks not only will get political power, black folks going to be able to do to us what we've done to them. So let's try to incentivize other groups now while we still have a chance to join our club, so we can really, let them be open with their anti-black racism. And let's incentivize them to do it now. This is what they're doing. Okay. Then the next step, they already talked about the situation in the voting, and I don't know where is all this, how they was indicting Latinos and say, all these Latinos, they're all right wing and we don't know, we got to do something about this. Now, after they finish with the Asians, they're going to start, probably some propaganda about Latinos and saying, oh, look, all these black people attacking Latinos and, oh, look what they're doing. Now, I'm telling you, this is they're going to try to go down the line of every single group and try to stir every group up against black people, and which is beyond evil. But you know what? At the end of the day, we are a survivor. We will outlast you. We will outlast your propaganda. All your lies is falling to the ground. Your particular standing in the world has went down to the toilet because the whole world got to see your true colors on January the 6th. They got to see your true colors. Nobody respects you. Even recently in Uganda, when you tried to bring up Uganda's elections, Museveni even told you, why don't you sit up there and worry about your own democracy? Look what happened at your capital. We don't want to hear nothing you got to say. You got election problems. Now, prior to all that happening, Museveni probably wouldn't even said nothing like that. So they can't say nothing to nobody anymore throughout the world. They think that, we going to sit up here and just be quiet and take all that. Let me tell you something. Propaganda is always a prelude to any kind of war. You look at any war America's gotten involved with, it started with media propaganda first. Look at the Iraq war. Every day, weapons of mass destruction. Oh, Saddam Hussein doing this to his people. Look at what he's doing. Oh, he's a threat. Oh, this. Oh, every day is media propaganda. Then once they stir of the American public enough, they'll say, yeah, something needs to happen to him. Then they go in. You have to understand that media is warfare. This is why you must support the people that's bringing you the media within our community. You can't depend on them. CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, because they do not have your good graces in mind. They don't. They are about protecting and making sure white supremacy continue. And understand them, weaponizing and trying to stir up a false propaganda about Asian people that isn't happening. They're trying to use them for their benefit. Understand? See, at the end of the day, my thing is it's ABC put that out. I can't say CGTN put it out. I can't say that. But now I'm starting to see it bleed into other networks. I know RT, I see them have some anti-black sentiments over there too. Now RT is starting to say it now. Oh, is this Asian, anti-Asian attacks, with black people, and then you have a lot of Asian celebrities that are coming out saying this, but let's call it what it is. The ones who have really been attacking Asians is the Mzungus. They've been attacking Asians. When COVID started, they was putting feces on their businesses. They was calling them names. They was saying that Trump is the one that stirred a whole lot of his people up on Asian people. But you notice we gonna overlook Trump, and we gonna overlook all them Mzungus attacking Asians, the ones who are really attacking Asians, right? And focus on one incident of some mentally ill person that wasn't even from this country. And you go indict all black Americans. ABC, let me tell you something. We're not going to sit up and stay quiet as a community at all. We're not. We're not going to put up with your propaganda. You're not going to weaponize propaganda against us without no pushback. But since, and I said this before, and you could check my video out when I posted this on Instagram. If we are so much of a threat to, people in the Asian community, and they fear black people so much, then what we should do, because we want to make sure that, black people are protected and Asian people are protected as well, then what we need to do is remove ourselves out of any businesses that they have, so we can't be accused of a hate crime or say we're attacking Asians. Because if we are out the situation and we out of the way, then you could not really say that we're doing anything. Say, hey, I'm not even over there. I used to go over there, but now I don't feel welcome. I've been hearing in the news that people like me has been indicted of just attacking Asian people. I don't want that. So I'm going to remove myself from whatever businesses that they have. Now, a lot of black people have already started to do that, and they also consider that a hate crime to them. That yes, they was actually saying that you not shopping at their stores, or you saying I don't want your food anymore, and you going somewhere else, they were trying to say that's a hate crime against Asians, that you don't want to shop there because you saying this because of COVID. No, black folks for a long time. Look at how many videos I have reported on of black women have been physically attacked by different Asian business owners, physically. And no hate crime legislation came out. No, this epidemic of Asians attacking black women, and that was actually an epidemic. The only reason it's kind of stopped is because black folks say, I'm just going to chill out and not go over there. But black people, we're going to have to start teaching any group that's going to openly disrespect us that we're not going to shop with them. Any corporation that decides to disrespect us, we're going to need to show them we're not going to shop with them. We're going to keep our money, because at the end of the day, they don't care about your marching. They don't care about you even complaining. What they care about is the money. And understand, we help the Asian community big time when it comes to money. And we could break them too at the same time. Same thing with this Mzungu. He's been proven many times that he's dependent on black people's money. So anybody that want to disrespect us, we need to do like Martin Luther King says, we need to distribute the pain, that economic pain, and take the money away. Then you will see the apologies start coming out. Oh, we didn't mean it like that. We were just talking about this, and we no. Put some respect on our name. That's all it is to it. And how you make people do that is take the money away. Now, I know there's going to be some black folks anyway that's going to go over there in those businesses, no matter how they disrespected, how they punched in the face, anything else. I know, unfortunately, we got some silly black folks in our community, unfortunately. And they come from all over the world. I get it. But if the majority of us, let's say minus those people, let's say if 80% of us, or even 70% of us, stick to that guns and say, no, we're not going to shop with you. We're not going to do any business with you because you're sitting up here collaborating with white supremacy against us instead of worrying about your own family, your own bag, and no, this is not happening. Then no, we need to make that move as a community. That is the best way to deal with anybody. Number one, it's peaceful. Number two, you're not committing no crimes. And number three, you have your own rights to where you spend your money. Take your money and spend it within your own community. Find somebody within the community who's selling whatever you need to buy. Find it. And if you like the food that they're making, you can go find recipes online and make it yourself. Make it at home, and it'll be a lot healthier. They don't even eat the food they serve you anyway. I mean, do the research. They don't even eat it. So you don't need to eat it. Make your own stuff at home. That's what you want to do. You can do that. Black folks are capable of cooking whatever they want to do. You can do it. So, but I want to let you know your thoughts on this clip that came out. You know, very, very, you know, propagandist. But just make sure that the way you respond to this is just stop spending your money. That's it. Nobody can stop you from boycotting someone, and it needs to be a boycott, because anybody that disrespects us from now on, boycotts must be the way. Don't get mad because you see some other black folks going in there anyway. You just keep towing the line and saying, hey, we're not going to do this. Let's take our money to our own community.